If you see a man drowning in Lake Wilcox, don't help him. I know. It sounds awful, but I have to warn you anyway. It's not worth the risk, even if the person drowning might not be him. You'll never see his face through the splashes, so don't think it's a simple matter of recognition. They say he only appears at night, but I've heard a story or two from the daylight hours over the years. It's never safe to rescue someone. The locals all know this, but I didn't. Not until it was far too late. It was summer of 2006. I was 19 back then, just a dumbass kid shouldering a dangerous feeling of invincibility. Enough so that I had become a volunteer firefighter straight out of high school. Most of my friends went off to college, so the semester months of late 2005 had been quite lonely. I saw my best friend Carson over winter break, and she must have picked up on my low mood. "I'll tell you what, Joey," she had said. "Next summer, I'll grab Trish and Cole, and we'll all go on a camping trip." At the time, the very idea caused my heart to grow wings and soar to cloud 9. I wish I could forget that feeling. Maybe the fall wouldn't hurt as much from a lesser height. Trish and Cole had been our friends since 6th grade. Carson and I took bets on how long it would take those two to get together, but we both lost. They were smart enough to stay just friends until they were accepted to the same college. While I had known Carson since kindergarten, they were still very dear friends of mine all the same. The four of us had gone camping with Cole, his parents, in the summer of 1999. The group unanimously considered the trip to be our finest hour. Hell, I still have a picture of us from that trip on my desk at home. You can clearly see Cole looking at Trish, and we gave him shit about it for years. Some days I even turn it around to face me as I write. As the summer approached, our excitement grew. We'd already bought the tents, some fishing gear, and a cooler for our illicit beverages. We borrowed the rest from Cole's family. We planned most of the details out, and by we I mean Trish. As she didn't appreciate spontaneity like the rest of us did, and I had the printed directions to Lake Wilcox in hand when Carson rolled up in her 1992 Tahoe. I quickly threw my gear and backpack in the rear before jumping into the passenger seat. The moment I sat down, Carson leaned over and gave me a hug. "Aha, there he is," came Cole's voice from the back seat as he clapped a massive hand on my shoulder. "It's so good to see you," beamed Trish as she held Cole's other hand. "How have you been?" "Can't complain," I replied. "I had my first house fire last week. Everyone made it out before we even got there, and yes, they had their cat with them. I've never seen a cat looking so pissed off." "Jesus, Joey," said Cole, shaking his head. "You sound way too excited when you talk about burning buildings." Carson glanced over, agreement clear in her eyes. "Yeah, I know," I said as I rubbed the back of my neck. "Just promise us you won't be stupid and rush in," Trish added. "I want this trip to be an annual thing, and it won't be the same without your dumb ass." I smiled. "I promise." "So," Carson interrupted, "you gonna tell me which way we're going, First Officer Dipshit?" The rest of the 4-hour drive went much the same way. It gave us plenty of time to catch up with one another, and Cole took full advantage of the cooler within arm's reach. Trish frowned disapprovingly as he stumbled while exiting Carson's Tahoe. The rest of us followed suit, and together we walked across the gravel lot towards the tree line. I'll give it to Trish. She picked one hell of a spot. The trees were tall, yet not so dense as to block too much sunlight or hinder hiking. A perfect combination of shade and the space to toss a frisbee. I could already see several perfect locations to set up our tents. And then there was Lake Wilcox itself. The waters reached the shore no more than 50 feet from where we would ultimately set up camp. An old dock stood nearby, going out about 20 feet into the lake. The surface was calm, but moved enough to soothe any worries of still water. "Oh, hell yeah," Cole cheered. "This is gonna be so awesome, babe. You're incredible," Trish huffed, but couldn't quite hide her smile. "Yeah, Trish, this looks perfect," Carson added. "How did you find this place?" "Google Earth," Trish replied with pride. "Looked like a great place to camp." "The nearest town is only 2 miles away in case we end up needing anything," she said, glancing at the notoriously forgetful Cole. "Plus, I couldn't find anything online about people camping here, so I figured we'd probably have the place to ourselves." "Well, it looks like you were right," I chimed in. "I don't see any campsites." "Hell, it looks like nobody's been here in a while." "Well, let's hurry up and get our tents up so we can start drinking," said Colonel.